EricAPosner, Radical Markets, Uprooting Capitalism and Democracy for a Just Society. Welcome to the world of Radical Markets, a remarkable book by EricAPosner that challenges the traditional economic system and proposes innovative ideas to foster a more just society. This summary offers an enlightening journey into the concept of free market auctions applied to various transactions, with the aim of addressing economic disparity and inequality. Key themes include decreasing labor income, increasing market power, and stagnant economic policy, along with visionary ideas such as competitive common ownership and quadratic voting. Get ready to explore the radical transformation of markets and discover practical solutions to some of our most pressing social and economic troubles.
Extreme Disruption for Economic Justice. The book proposes free market auctions to disrupt the economic system and address the underlying causes of economic inequality, decreasing labor income, increasing market power, and stagnant economic policy. The wealthy earn 60% of their income from investments and profit, shifting the foundations of the American economy away from labor. Affluent business owners use markups to add excess profits and market influence, enabling monopolies and oligopolies that increase economic inequality. Past fiscal mechanisms haven't kept inequality from growing. The solution is an extreme disruption of the economic system that spurs collective action and decentralizes power. The book highlights the growing gap between the rich and poor, which divides communities and fuels conflict globally. Traditional public policy fails to address this problem, and in some cases, exacerbates it. The solution proposed is a disruption of the economic system that takes the form of free market auctions applied to all transactions. The authors argue that this will harness the radicalism inherent in markets, decentralize power, and spur collective action. The underlying causes of economic inequality, which are decreasing labor income, increasing market power, and stagnant economic policy, are addressed through free market auctions. The rich earn most of their income from investments and profits, shifting the foundations of the American economy from labor income. Affluent business owners use markups to add excess profits, enabling monopolies and oligopolies that drive up prices and increase economic inequality. Past fiscal mechanisms, such as supply-side methodologies, have failed to keep inequality from growing. Overall, the book calls for an extreme disruption of the economic system to achieve a more just society. The proposed solution aims to address the underlying causes of economic inequality and decentralize power while spurring collective action. Capitalism's solution for economic and social issues. In Radical Markets, the author argues that traditional free markets do not work because monopolies control the markets. However, radical free markets, enabled by auctions, could eliminate inequality. This new system would prioritize goods and services that benefit the community, allow buyers and sellers to agree on prices, permit anyone to buy anything, maintain a competitive market, and offer equal participation opportunities. Through this approach, the winner in the auction is the person who values the item the most, reducing inequality, and benefiting the entire community. Radical auctions. This book's summary explores the concept of radical auctions, which have been inspired by prominent thinkers such as Adam Smith and Henry George. While traditional markets rely on private property, George proposed shared property as a way to end inequality, and Nobel Prize-winning economist William Vickrey developed a method called mechanism design, which facilitated auctions for everything from ad space to automobile rides. Vickrey's auctions would allow people to bid to rent private property, with proceeds benefiting the community. This system would deter speculative investments and force accurate self-assessments through tax rates. The end goal is to create a market in which only inequality traceable to differences in natural abilities persists. The solution to monopoly problem. The current economic system favors individual ownership, but monopolies lead to decreased productivity. The solution lies in a continuous auction of usage rights to allocate efficiency. Competitive common ownership discourages monopolies, allowing governments to own property and rent it out for the most productive purposes. Proceeds could fund community projects. Partially owned public property puts usage control into the hands of the community, leading to equality in ownership. Traditional auctions fail at forcing winners to use property for optimal purposes, making free auctions the ideal solution. A radical market in property. The community determines how property is utilized under a cost system, with taxes funding public initiatives. Property is continuously auctioned through online exchanges with self-assessed or automatically generated values. Rules for immediate exchanges, financing, and time limits would be in place, with locked-in prices before inspections. Owners pay a tax to keep sentimental possessions and penalties for property damage. Buyers receive tax deductions for liabilities and higher values for property improvements. The endowment effect is reduced through automatic auctions that factor in future taxes. Governments could utilize cost-based licenses to sell state-owned property, generating revenue while facilitating a radical market of user fees that increase social wealth and redistribute wealth to low-income individuals. Cost could potentially eliminate existing taxes and finance public projects with a surplus. Quadratic voting, a fairer system for decision-making. The U.S. political system values majority rule through a one-person one-vote process. However, this structure doesn't always reflect the intensity of an individual's opinion or prevent tyrannization of minorities. To address these issues, the author proposes the use of auctions or quadratic voting, QV, which gives individuals an allotment of voice credits they can spend to buy votes on each issue, with the number of votes cast being the square root of credits spent. This ensures that individuals who care more about an issue have more weight in decision-making. Furthermore, QV discourages extremism and encourages compromise since there's a cost to voting. This system is especially beneficial in promoting the outcomes of minorities and enabling them to contribute to decision-making on issues they care about. According to the author, quadratic voting could apply to many different issues and is a fairer system for decision-making. Revamping corporate governance. Corporate governance requires radical changes to limit institutional investors' control and end monopolies. The application of QV can reduce political influence. Antitrust laws are unproductive due to the Red Queen phenomenon. Shareholders suffer from the ownership without control concept, bringing about the agency costs. Radical corporate control also includes limiting investment ownership to boost competition and breaking institutional investors' power, which could result in up to 0.5% gains of national income. New regulations are needed to manage company size in radical markets. The radical markets revolutionizing big tech. Large tech companies such as Facebook and Google collect vast amounts of user data for free and use it to earn advertising money. The companies gain societal influence, creating siren server monopolies that are difficult to break. However, radical data markets could assign value to users' information and enforce their data labor rights, allowing them to benefit from their input. Institutionalized auctions and new government regulations can support these markets and promote continuous evolution. While it may take time to develop these ideas fully, they could revolutionize the way we view and participate in big tech.
In conclusion, Radical Markets provides an eye-opening exploration of how free market auctions and radical new concepts, like competitive common ownership, cost, and quadratic voting can disrupt traditional systems and create a more equitable society. It advocates for a continuous evolution of markets, tackling issues such as decreasing labor income, market monopolies, and ineffective economic policies by restructuring markets and their underlying rules. This book leaves us with a valuable understanding of how embracing radical market ideas can catalyze the necessary changes to build a more just and inclusive future for all.